So, when should you create your website, or when is it a good time to maybe do a redo on a website um, or like update it? There's a few different ways to answer this question. So, some businesses don't really need a website, some can get through it with social media. If you're in e commerce, you could sell on Etsy or you could sell on Facebook. I think Instagram has a way now. If you're a boutique, you can sell straight directly off those sites. Um, if it doesn't financially make sense in the beginning, if you haven't made a profit, or if you think it's going to cost too much to get the website started, to pay someone to do it, um, then don't make one. Just sell or post as much as you can on your social media sites. In my very first video, I talked about how social media is cost effective. It is the most cost effective thing you can do because it is free. So if you are trying to find a way to cut a cost, or it just isn't feasible at the time, don't build your website at the very beginning. Don't build it from the start. Use your social media, build up, get a little revenue in, and then create your site. My brother runs. My brother runs his own gaming business. He has his own store, and they've been in business for over a year, and they still don't have a site because an e-commerce site is more. Also, then you have to start planning in with shipping, um, shipping costs, taxes, all of that. Like, it just becomes more when you're selling an actual good. So for over a year now, he hasn't even had a website, and it's fine because he's used his social media. They are a brick and mortar store, so you can go in. But that's just one example about how you don't need a website to start. So if you haven't had the revenue yet, or you just don't have the money to put into um, paying someone to do it, especially if you just really don't know where to start, or you don't have the time to do it, because it is a little time consuming to start a website, then I would advise you not to build one. Just use your social media because it's free and run it off there. Now, if you already have one and you are debating back and forth whether you should redo it, or whether you should pay someone to redo it, no matter how you look at that, I think you can gauge that off a few different things. Is it still relevant? Is all the information still current and up to date? Maybe you got a new logo and your old website matches your old logo. That's definitely a time to get one there. Maybe you have been in business for a long time. Maybe you haven't been in for a long time, but maybe you finally have made the revenue and you have the money to really put into a site. Definitely do it. Check your analytic reports though before you throw a bunch of money into a site, if you're at that point. Because if you have one and you're seeing that you're getting a lot of visitors and your traffic's up really high, great, definitely throw the money into it. Do it. It will do nothing but benefit you. Do your research on if you're going to hire someone out, a company, a freelancer, whoever you're going to hire. Do your research on that. Anyone who's in digital marketing or web design should be more than willing to have a free consultation and basically a creative meeting with you before you sign any sort of a contract. If they're not willing to, I believe that's a red flag, which we can talk all we want on that later if you guys are interested in hearing a little bit about that and the process of how to find one. Just let me know in the comments and we can definitely go over some what would be red flags. But anyways, yeah, into a redo. So really, if you just feel that there's a need to do a redo, if it makes sense to do a redo, if you have a company hired or you found a freelancer and you just really like their work, you can redo your website at any point that you want to do it. Just whatever makes sense for you and your business is the most important thing. I have redone mine twice, I believe. I changed my logo. I redid the layout and design of it because I just didn't think that it was really conveying what I wanted it to convey. Also, the great thing about a website, especially if you're doing it on your own, no matter how much experience you have, you can look at it and go back and say, it's just really not what I had in mind. Let me change something. And changing a color even could make a world of difference. That's really all I did on my last redesign. Also, you could have to redo it if your products have changed or if your mission has changed, if really anything has changed. Go ahead and redo it. There's nothing wrong with redoing your site if that's what you want, because you became a business owner because you wanted to do it your way and you believed in you and your product. And your website should always convey that.